features on this watch that bug me a little bit, and I'll let you know what they are. But what we're going to do is in the left-hand corner of the screen, I'll go ahead and put all the basic specs of the watch. Like I said, this thing's got a ton of features. I'm not going to list everything, nor am I going to go over everything, because literally it's just too much to go over. But you're looking at a 52 millimeter case. It's a big watch. I mean, it's no doubt about it. It's big, and I'll do a little comparison here in a minute with one of my citizens. It's 16 millimeters thick, and it's also a thick watch. You have a 20 millimeter bracelet right there. It's 200 meters water resistant, which is 660 feet. It's obviously solar powered, and I'll talk a little bit more about charging and stuff like that later. It's also shock resistant, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later as well. It has Casio module 5445. I guess that's the movement that Casio uses inside the watch. It does have an LED backlight for the face of the watch and for the LCD displays. It has world time and 31 time zones. You can either have a 12 or 24 hour display, so basically standard time or military time. It has 5 alarms, a stopwatch, a countdown timer, and it also has a power save mode. And it's accurate to plus or minus 15 seconds per month. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later as well. So let's take a look at this thing. First impressions, it is a big watch. I know I've said that already numerous times, but wow, this thing is huge. It's a great looking watch as well. I mean, it feels really substantial and heavy. Very well made, very well machined. I like the interesting mix of resin and plastic and metal, and I'm assuming this is a layer of the watch. I don't think this is just like a cover. You're looking at a metal, non-movable bezel, metal, looks like metal case here. Then there's a plastic layer, which I'm assuming is for the shock resistance, and then you have a metal case back. So really interesting. I mean, it's mostly metal, but they have to use some of that resin and plastic for shock resistance because metal is not very shock resistant. Let's talk about the solar power. It'll go 8 months on charge under regular usage. I mean, that means using the light as well and doing all the different functions. So you get about 8 months on a charge. If you were to take this and put it away somewhere, it'll go into a power save feature, and it'll last up to 19 months on a charge, which is really impressive. We've already talked about the shock resistance. Now the accuracy is really interesting, and this is the difference between a quartz and an automatic. This is accurate to plus or minus 15 seconds a month. Most average automatic watches, we're not talking about Swiss-made watches that have been certified, not certified chronometers. An average automatic watch like one of the Seikos or Citizens or Orients, those are accurate to plus or minus 15 seconds a day. So you can really see the accuracy difference between a quartz watch and an automatic. Now when you get up to the Swiss level automatics, the Breitlings, the Rolex, the Omegas, the Tags, the Vacheron Constantines, I mean, I could go on forever and ever. Those are actually certified, and those are accurate to plus or minus 5 seconds a day. These are plus or minus 15 seconds a month. Average automatics are plus or minus 15 seconds a day. Certified chronometers, Swiss chronometers, are accurate to plus or minus 5 seconds a day. So that gives you an idea of the accuracy of these watches. Really accurate. And let me show you something here. Give you a size comparison. This is my new Citizen Pro Master. And I mean, it's like David and Goliath. I mean, this thing is huge. Wow. It's a big watch, man. At 52 millimeters, it's about 10 millimeters bigger than this new Pro Master. And this is probably the absolute limit I can go for a big watch. Anything bigger than this, and you get into like the Invictas and the Nixons and some of those others, and that's just too big for me. I think they had to make this a little bit bigger just to accommodate all the different functions that this watch has. If they were to make it in a smaller size, which is my preferred size, 42 to 44 millimeter, you just couldn't read all of the functions on the watch. It would just be too small. So that's probably why they had to make this pretty big. So anyway, so it's a big watch. Luckily, I'm a big guy, so this looks great on me, if I must say so myself. It does look good. But I just want to give you a size comparison. So there you go. It's a big one. All right. Now, besides the actual size of the watch, the only other gripe that I have is the fact that it is so big, and the negative LCD is kind of hard to read unless you're in direct sunlight. I don't like this reverse or negative LCD. I like black digits on kind of like that pale brown background that you would normally see in an LCD movement. These are just really, really hard to see at a glance. Then this also has an auto feature that when you tilt your wrist, like when you're wearing the watch and you tilt your wrist, it'll actually turn on the backlight. It'll only do that in darkness. It won't do that in light. And I can't remember if I turned it off or on this one, but it's a neat little feature. But you know, I like to be able to read the LCDs without having to turn the backlight on. So that's my only gripe with this watch. I mean, it is legible. The hands are nice and legible. They're nice and big. I wish the hands had a little bit more of a design to them. They're just basically two arrows, one's thick and one is thin. I wish they had done a little bit more with the hands. The rest of the watch looks great. I mean, I love the huge applied indexes. It gives a real sense of depth. I like the machining. I like the bezel. I mean, I like the overall look of the watch a lot. It's just these LCD screens, they're just a little bit small and they're a little hard to read unless you're in direct sunlight. And again, I'm just not a big fan of the negative LCD. I like to have the black letters on the, that pale, real light brown background, what you're normally used to seeing when you see an LCD watch. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and show you the lume. There's only lume on the hands because everything else is backlit, and I'll show you that here in a second too. So what we'll do is go ahead and cut out the studio light. And there you go. It's actually pretty light right now. Let me give it a quick little charge with the flashlight, and you'll see how bright it can get. I'm not sure what paint Casio uses for their hands, but I'm sure it's not going to be Luma Bright or Super Luminova. But I think it'll do a pretty decent job. So there you go. And there was the auto feature that just came in. See, if you go like this and you tilt the watch, there you go. And it looks really cool at night. I mean, it looks like the instrument, like the dash display of like an Acura NSX at night. That's really cool looking. So at night, it's awesome. But, during the day, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. There you go. Now, another neat little feature I wanted to show you is if those hands are in the way of one of the LCD displays, you can actually hold this button, let it go, and then the hands will move out of the way of the display. Let me go ahead and turn the light back on for you here. So as you can see, what it does is it opens up those displays so you can actually see what's in them. You click it again, push it again, and the hands go back. So, neat little feature there. I like that a lot. Let me go ahead and try this thing on real quick, give you an idea. It fits me perfectly right out of the box. I mean, that's a lot of watch, man. A lot of watch. But God, it's really a good looking watch. I just wish I could read those. See, if you don't get it in the right angle or whatever, it's hard to see those displays. I'm probably going to send this one back and get like a Range Man or something like that. Only because I like to see those LCD displays all the time. So, there you go. Alright. Trying to think of anything else I missed. The bracelet, nice bracelet. I mean, not super decorated. I mean, it's a pretty, it's a stamped metal bracelet. Not super decorated, but I mean, it does its job. Looks like you've got 4 micro adjustments right there. So it'll definitely fit you. And if you have any problems, just take out, one of the links or add a link. Case back. It's that laser etched G-Shock case back. There you go. You don't have a diver's extension. It's not really a diver's watch. Even though it's rated to 660 feet or 200 meters, you don't have a diver's extension. The case, like I said, the case is really nice. Kind of that mix of metal and resin. I mean, I love the way the thing looks, man. But I guess I'm just going to have to get one of the Rangemen, and because you can obviously see the LCD display a lot easier. So that's it, folks. These have been out for a couple months. They're about 200 bucks. I think they list for $350 on Casio's site, but you can get them on Amazon for, but I think this one's about $210. There are a couple different versions of this. I'll go ahead and put all of those separate links in the description field for you. And if you like this, please click on like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so, and I'll put a link in the lower right-hand corner of the screen for you. Great looking watch, but I just don't think this is the G-Shock for me, even though I love the fact that it's got all this metal in it. I really do. Maybe they'll come out next year with a different model that's maybe got a positive LCD instead of this negative LCD. I'm not quite sure. But I love the way it looks, man. If y'all can get past that one feature, definitely go out and buy this thing. It screams of quality build, by the way. Great looking watch. All right, folks, this has been the G-Shock G-Steel model number GSTS110D-1A from Casio. Great looking watch. Go out there if you like, go out there and get one if you like it, folks. All right, until the next review, I will see y'all later.